Hi, I am Rada from truthmakesitintimate.com. I support people to create deeper connection in their lives and fall in love with themselves at the same time. These days, I am looking at ways in which we get stuck in our relationships. Misconceptions that we held about what love is or about what relationship work is, which keep us away from experiencing the connection or the passion that we long for. Today we look at love should come naturally. Now that's something which many of us not only believe, but we feel it in our bones. It's like my heart knows what I like and what I dislike. My heart knows what is good for me and what is not good for me. So I follow my heart and I will end up in good places. Except that sometimes, and for some of us it's many times, we don't. We end up in actually really not good places, like a toxic relationship or a complicated relationship, one in which the other one is not available, but we already are so invested that we cannot let go. And that's where we get stuck, because then we start to doubt our heart, we start to mistrust our moves, and the more mistrustful we are, the more mistakes we make. I remember for myself, after one particularly toxic relationship, I ended up in a place of so much confusion. I was lost completely. You know, I had followed my heart. Everything I did, I followed my heart. And looking back, I realized everything was wrong with that relationship. And I ended up hurting myself. I ended up hurting the other. So what is that? What is that? You know, over the years I learned that we have actually two hearts. There is a natural heart which we have. It's the heart that we all come into this world with. It's the heart of a child. A child knows how to move towards love and warmth and honesty and sensitivity and nice touch. That heart really knows. But then, on top of it, as we grow up, we develop a veiled heart. So this is a veil which comes on top of our natural heart. That is something that we get by learning from the people around us. We look at adults in our life, our parents, our teachers, older brothers or sisters, and we learn things about what love is, or what relationships are, or what relationships take. Let me give you an example. Let's say we grow up with a mother who is physically there for us most of the times, and yet she doesn't really get us. She's not in tune with us. She cannot feel us the way we would want her. She doesn't understand us. But we have a father who actually gets us, who actually can feel us, he understands us. And yet he's not there most of the times. He's there just in small moments. Most of the time he's emotionally unavailable or physically unavailable. And then that's what we learn that love is. We learn that love is this small batches of being understood, of being loved. And between them there is this huge space of this huge absence. And then we grow up, and for example, we meet this dark, secretive, closed man who gives us glimpses that he gets us, and then we think, oh my God, this is love. But actually that man is emotionally unavailable, and we get stuck with him for a long time, and we get in trouble. That is our veiled heart in action. So I guess you already see by now that for us to have beautiful, nourishing, passionate relationships that we want, we need to be able to distinguish between the natural heart and the veiled heart, because they actually feel the same. They do, but they are not the same. So how do we distinguish between the two? How do we make this distinction? Well, if you are at the beginning of the road, you're just stepping into the love world, I say go with the heart no matter what, just go with it. And then if you end up in a bad place, then you know, most probably here there was my veiled heart at play. And then look, what is it that could not be natural there? What is it that might be something that I learned from my past? But if you're not at the beginning of the road and you already had some experiences which were not so good for you, then you have a chance to look back. We have a chance to review a little bit. We already had some experience, so okay, let's look. Is there a pattern here? Why do we end up in these bad places? Is there a pattern here? For example, we might notice, oh, I seem to always end up with this kind of troubled women whose life is a little bit of a mess, maybe sometimes a lot of a mess, who are always in need of a rescue. And I always step in and help them, but then I continue to help and help and help, and at some point I give all these things, but then I get eventually rejected, or I get in a very tight place in that relationship which doesn't feel like love anymore. I notice this, and then I take a step back and think, okay, could this be my veiled heart in action? Let's see, let's look at my childhood. Is there something there which might have triggered that? And then we might notice, oh, I grew up with a mother who maybe was depressed or was sick or was immature, and I had to step in and rescue her. And maybe I became a little bit her hero. That made me feel good, so then I continued to do it. You know, that is the veiled heart. That is the birth of the veiled heart, and then repeating that is our veiled heart in action. Once we notice that, once we notice the veil, then it starts dissolving. It doesn't have the grip on us that it used to have. It starts falling off, and that's the magic of all this. This is why we talk about it. But there is a trick here, and the trick is when we look back and we realize that, not to have the blaming eyes and say, oh my God, as a child, how silly I was to do that. You know, that was so stupid of me. No, just come with compassion. It's like, see, that little boy or that little girl, they did the best they could to feel some safety, to feel some love. And then also to look with wisdom, that we repeated that out because we didn't know, we did it unknowingly. And yes, it's sad that it happened, but the good news is it's over. Now we know, and now we can do it differently. And in my experience, once we see that original cause of everything, then life does give us another chance. Life does give us a next time to act out of our natural heart. This is what I wanted to share today. I hope you found it useful, and if so, hope to see you soon. Thank you.